Welcome back everyone, Ronan here, and for this part 8 of the highlights, I actually managed to finish the game finally on my first playthrough. I encountered a few issues, and I have to say, spoiler alert right away, because this is basically the last fight of the game. So if you do not want to know how the fight ends or how it is, I'm not going to show the cutscenes, but the highlights are all about the last portion of the map or the game. Now, I made a big mistake. I ended up doing this into 2 streams. I pushed myself a little too hard on the first night, so I ended up taking a break, and when I started over, I had to kind of fix up the mistakes that I had been doing the night before, and that made the fight just so much harder. So it ended up taking me about 3 hours to do the last mission in XCOM 2 on normal. Wow. Just to try to put things in perspective, this is how my game save was last night. This is where I left off. I left off with, what, 5 out of my 6 soldiers inside a void rift that actually disarms all their weapons, and you have to reload. Terrible, terrible placement. Also, you'll notice I downloaded a mod that changes the HP bar into digital as opposed to that analog point display, so you have to count the health of the enemies, which is just stupid, personally. So yeah, this is where I had to start off tonight. So I was having a hard enough time finding proper cover. The only cover I could find here is light cover, except for the one pillar that's a little bit more south. And then this happens. I spawned, what, 4 Cortexes, another Avatar, 2 Archons, and I think the 1 Sectoid. I didn't know what to do. I was screwed right there. It's a pretty rough mission. If you're not sure what to do, you basically just have to kill the avatars. Once you kill the avatars, then you're successful. But it seems like it's wave after wave of aliens in this one. So you have to do a lot of damage to those avatars, especially since they heal 5 HP per turn. The pillar that I'm about to show, where Bear, my ranger, is sitting behind, is the only spot I've noticed in that whole corner without moving up that has full cover. If you also notice, because this comes into play later on, the amount of health I have. Bear has 17. I'm trying to see the heavy that's right there. I'm not sure who it is, but he has 15. And there's a big mistake that happens later on with that. Or 16. Again, to show off the power of the Shred Storm cannon, and I'm going to want to build a few more of these in my next playthrough. This is unbelievable. The amount of damage and the fact that it shreds like 4 armor off any enemy is amazing. And it goes right through cover, ignores cover, destroys cover. It's awesome. So I just got hit really hard with AoE, so I decided to do the restoration protocol to heal everybody. Or at least Bear, apparently. Now, you remember that pillar that was there that she was standing behind? They blew it up. The entire pillar is gone. No more cover for her. Ridiculous. So yeah, restoration protocol is almost a must here, because the sheer amount of AoE that the avatars possess. Now, I'm not sure if it's intended here, but the Grenadiers have a really hard time getting line of sight, or at least arcs, onto where you want to send the grenade. For some reason, I can't get the grenade over that light cover she's standing behind. I don't know if this is intended, or I have no idea, actually. This is ridiculous. And the whole time, I struggled with my 2 Grenadiers to get any grenades on point. So I'm not sure if there's something that can be done for that. I hope it's a bug, and maybe there'll be a fix. But that's just a pain in the butt. Instead, you should bring more items and those shredder cannons. This here is my first time using Reaper. Now, the premise is the same as in the zone, except that you don't use bullets. You basically slash people. The first attack will not miss. So by using that knowledge, I attack this unit. And I kind of wish I would have had more practice with it, because I could have done a lot better. And this skill actually is really nice if you get lucky. It's all situational, so just remember that. So I tried to move on to another target, but I just don't have the range, so I shot it instead. Still killed it, but it ends your turn. Shooting does not count towards Reaper. It has to be with your sword. At this point, I had pretty much given up. I didn't really know what else to do. I think it was just gonna be a reset, something. So here, Bear, my ranger again, has over 50 dodge because of a implant and the armor she's wearing. So she's actually flanked right now, but because of how high her dodge is, the hits are actually just grazing her, not actually doing full damage. And some other hits are actually missing. So she could be standing right in the open and not take that much damage, which I thought was actually pretty cool. So in the future, I will be looking at getting high dodge characters again, because in the first one it was also really good if you had ghost armors, and no matter where you were in light cover. If you were in high cover, you were actually in, you know, full and a half cover, which was nice. It's like 60% dodge rate. So something to think about. Here you can see the avatar doing mind control. And it actually hit and controls Bear's mind. This kind of sucks because she's actually tanking really good, and she was doing really well at holding off the enemy by herself by either dodging or grazing all the hits. At this point, it's been something like 20 minutes that her mind's been controlled.
Get out of my head!
And then they mind control her again, because I guess they hate dealing with how high her dodge is or something. So they're not giving control to me. I can't get back. I can't get Bear back. So I start trying to run away to maybe lure them in, which is something I should have done a lot earlier. Forgot about Overwatch again. I wasn't so lucky. I could not dodge that Overwatch. So now my psionic soldier, which is Molder, just died. I think he still have a countdown, but I just don't have the manpower to get him up. I don't have any more gremlin charges. So I didn't want to kill Bear, but I'm trying to find where I can send that Void Rift, because it does a lot of damage and it can help me survive. So I ended up doing it anyway. I mean, I wrote her off as dead. She lives with 1 health. Just amazing. But those clones, those codexes, whenever you damage it, they just double themselves, which you have to hit them hard and fast to prevent them from splitting up. So at this point, I think the Avatar project had enough. So they send Bear, which is ironic, after my Avatar, and he falls through the floor. Yeah, the ironic part of this, Bear is modeled after Ronin. She is his daughter, technically. So essentially, my 1-year-old, or at least her character, killed me in XCOM 2. I'll remember that one. Thanks, Bear. So no big deal. Learn from your mistakes. Don't push yourself when you're tired. Don't push too far. I knew what I had to expect in that last room. Getting there wasn't too bad. It's just about an hour and a half. If you're careful, anyway. If you're just rushing in, it's probably a lot less. Now, I'm not sure if you're noticing. It took me a couple of minutes, or maybe less. But look at the health. Meteor has 9 HP. And then everybody else has 11, 8 for Bear. Now they all had a lot more, and I made a point of this earlier. I'm not sure what happened when I restarted, but I think they all took a wound. Even though you're restarting the mission, I think you're restarting the mission at a weakened state. Now, I'd have to confirm more information on that. I'm not sure if it's intended or a bug. What ended up happening, I'll skip ahead. Now, this is part of where I noticed something was wrong. To mind control or dominate the orb, I had a 35% chance. Now, I hadn't really checked into this the night before because it wasn't... I didn't mind control the gatekeeper. But I did dominate the Andromedas. So I reloaded and I tried to go mind control or dominate an Andromeda. So I'm just lining it up right now, trying to find a good line of sight that will allow me to do this. %60. Now I looked on the sides, I have minus 85 will, I think. Or that's his will. Yesterday I had a 100% chance to mind control these guys. So it tells me that you cannot fail the last mission. I'm not sure if it's intended, but my will, all my stats were reduced. It's almost like I'm wearing base equipment. It's almost like they removed all my gear and just gave me the base equipment in the game. So it's almost my guys are naked. They're fighting with nothing on. The weapons may be right because the model is there. And the damage seems to be right when I was fighting some of them. But the rest of the equipment is all the base gear. I think that's what happened anyway. Hopefully it's a bug. Hopefully it will get fixed. But I was lucky enough that I found a save file that was from before my mistake last night. Alright, to finish off this video, I'm going to show you guys how I managed to get the 3 avatars down. You basically have to just focus fire them so that you can kill them, because if not, they'll out heal anything you do to them. So I actually used my own avatar here. Forgot about Overwatch. Luckily I didn't get hit. Took a shot on their avatar. Got a lucky crit of 11. But I realized that he still had armor, so that's pretty bad. But if you notice, he teleports towards the person that shot him. I think that could be a mechanic. I'm not 100% sure yet. Now, most of my guys, this is the one thing. Make sure your guys are spread out here, because they will break your weapons. This is fine if you have a gunslinger. I found the gunslinger because you use your pistol. You don't actually have ammo in your weapon. So it actually works out quite well for that. So because this is my psionic soldier, I tried to use whatever I could, which is going to be probably the lance. Or whatever's button 4. Never mind, I'm going to do exactly what I just said. I moved my gunslinger up, and I still have to be outside that area, that void, because on the next turn it will explode. And because it's a gunslinger, I use fan fire and hope that all hits will work. It's 9 to 18. I need 13 to kill it. But it's a 99% chance to hit. So it all depends on the damage values. Because the armor, I actually didn't kill it. It still has 6 health. But it teleported pretty far away. But then teleported back. I don't know how that works. Maybe the fan fire because you hit more than once. And this is where I use Soulfire. Soulfire is a guaranteed hit, no matter what their will is, it will hit them.
Your mind is your weakness.
So I hit him. I'm pretty sure it's dead on. 8. So more than enough. 1 avatar down. Alright, now the second avatar. Again, all my weapons, or almost all my weapons, are drained of ammo because of the avatar. And maybe even the codex. I think the codex do the same thing. He's over there. I didn't have time to check how much health he has left. But that's my target this turn. This mod is actually pretty good to make decisions on which target to hit. So I meleeed the codex. That means that my ranger is safe for 1 turn. The next hit will not hit her. I don't know why it's going back to her. She can't move, she can't do anything. So every time I tab target, it goes back to bear. Try to see. I think that's the avatar there. It has 25 HP. It's in the bottom right corner. But it's a 50-50 shot. I don't like taking that one. If I don't kill it, then it heals 5 health this turn, so I have to kill it. So I went for chain shot. It tells me 16 to 20. With those odds, at 50-50, only one of the 2 hits need to hit it to kill it. It worked out. So I got lucky, but I just used, you know, some math to try to make the decision there. And I got lucky. There goes that one. Chain shot is not the greatest because of the minus 15% to aim, but you know, if you need to kill something, same goes with the guaranteed shot. You just use more ammo. I could have also used that.
For how long, I wonder?
Alright, for the last avatar. This was rough. This is about 45 minutes after the second avatar. It took me to deal with all the ads that were spawning. Trying to keep my guys alive. Got lucky with the overwatch there. And I'm just trying to think of how to get him. He's hiding way back. You can see him behind that faceless on the left, or near the middle of the screen. And I'm just trying to think, how do I get there? He's been hiding behind all the enemies this whole time. It took me about 45 minutes, like I said, to get close to him. So I managed to hit them, which seems to be the thing to do in this game. Hit them, and they apparently want to teleport close to you. That is how I separate them from the rest. Again, I like the gunslinger tree a lot more than I like the sniper tree. To me, it has more applications for burst damage than the sniper tree. Sniper tree is probably good for the masses, right there. Thank you, Blaze. You finished the fight for us with your fan fire. 3 shots to the same target. And that is it.
Without the elder stabilizing the
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.
That gate's not gonna hold much longer.
Sorry, I forgot to mention, we will be starting classic mode. I started a little bit earlier, but I wanted to really get the first match or the first mission proper, and I've been having a hard time. This is what my results were, for those of you that were wondering. I don't know why it says world is 0, because I doubt that I'm the first one to finish the game. I highly doubt that, especially since I've been playing 2 games at the same time. I'm sure somebody's finished the game before me. And then these are just my results. All in all, not too bad. I've learned a lot. So the next playthrough will be on, it used to be classic, but now I think it's commander level. And we'll do better. I have a better plan, better understanding of the game mechanics. What I'm actually going to try to do is skip the first weapon upgrade. I'm going to go for the first armor upgrade, then go straight for psionic soldiers. And hopefully those psionic soldiers are going to be able to carry us to the 3rd tier of weaponry and the 3rd tier of armor. It may work easily. It may seem easy in the normal difficulty. On the classic one, I'm not sure if it's going to be entirely possible. Again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video, which will be more than likely on Sunday, which is tonight. Have a great night, everyone.